Yeah, we can probably go straight on to Africa now then. So I was coronated in January this year as Ni Kojo Aite Naba Mpese. So Ni, as I said earlier, is the Ga term for chief or king. Aite means firstborn. Naba, as I spoke to earlier around, my Dogon initiation is a bloodline from the Burkina Faso tribe. The Gudamanch tribe actually in Burkina Faso is where the Naba bloodline sits. And it was my mum's African ancestry 10 years ago that kind of first, I guess, attracted me to actually, I knew very little about Burkina Faso before my mum's. I'd heard of the Dogons, but wasn't necessarily aware of the teachings. And that process for me still is probably the most, the initiation that still sits with me. I still recite the first prayer to write every morning after I've washed. It goes, Ni, shall I do it now?
You say prayer to Ra.
Yeah.
I need it in my life. Be like, stuff or what? Their Akis be like, yo.
It's basically opening myself to divine, asking for divine wisdom and protection, and then the rest of it I'm not supposed to translate. Mm-hmm. So I even had to kind of discuss with teachers whether I'm even allowed to say it publicly, because the way we was taught, not just as a Marine but throughout initiations, is that it's public, private and sacred. The public and private things can be discussed. I mean, the private stuff can only be discussed once you've kind of attained a certain grasp of the concepts, and then the sacred things aren't things you're supposed to discuss. And so then that first prayer is an indwelling prayer to my personal divinity, as well as kind of offering myself to the divine. So I love that. When I was when I was coronated in the Nyankopong tribal nation as Chief for Culture, Heritage and Development, I said earlier that I was put onto a number of councils. And on that council, I met a number of chiefs from different parts of Africa, Sierra Leone. I think there might have been even a Gambian chief in there at one point. Ghana, Gambia, Togo, Benin, Mali, Sierra Leone. There's 9 countries. Nigeria, Benin, Togo, I'm forgetting one.
The whole West Coast, basically.
Yeah, literally. There are representatives. There are people that self-identify as Maroons or are empathize with the ideology that agree around fighting colonialism in a specific way. So I was brought onto one of the calls last year to speak about Chromanti and kind of the admixture, the creolization of the language. And one of the chief asked me, like, what do you think we should be doing? And I remember saying, if you ask me, I'm going to say. And I think one of the things I mentioned at that point was we as Jamaican Maroons will go to the UN every year to kind of do culture exchanges. So we'll kind of play drums, do communal drums, we'll kind of promote our culture. But we very rarely, we don't go there with kind of political mandates, like specific goals and ambitions that might kind of push the nation forward. Yeah, so it was the Mpese royal family, and the Mpese Rastafari royal family, and the 9th tribe, the 9th Gar tribe, the youngest Gar tribe. And the chronology goes that the Gars initially were a priesthood, but when they settled in Ghana and in Accra, and Accra became the economic capital, the chieftaincy went from kind of priests to mainly land and development chiefs. So big salute to Chief Ni Daku Congo, who invited me on a royal visit. I mean, that's how they viewed Maroons at that point. They viewed all of us as royal family. So they invited me. I didn't know at that point I was going to be groomed for chieftaincy. I knew that they kind of wanted me to kind of play a more active role in the diaspora. I wasn't sure when I got to Ghana what that might look like. So I've got a couple of pictures here. I need to kind of, maybe I should show this one more widely.
This will be up on the screen.
Yeah, because you kind of see me coming in on the airport, and the way they greeted me, when I saw the delegation, I thought, oh, they must be here for something important. They're not here for me. And I think when I saw how we treat each other in a royal way, it rang true for me.